Our next candidate is Efren Gutierrez. He was brought to Sacramento by his family at the age of 5. He spent virtually all of his teen life in what is now known as District 3. He attended North Del Rio High School and was student body president in 1975, went on and graduated from Sacramento State University, he's a Hornet, with a BA Communications. For nearly 33 years, he's focused his community service activities on advocating for the underprivileged and underrepresented. He's presently a board member of the Latino Democrats Club and the liaison to the Sacramento County Democrats Committee. He's a real estate broker and co-owner of New West Realtors Incorporated, located on North Grade Boulevard. He has been serving the Sacramento area for more than 30 years, helping to obtain the American dream of home ownership. Now he's stepping up to bring a voice absent for too long from City Hall, that of the Latino community. Please help me in welcoming Efren.
Buenos días, mi gente. Good morning, everybody. You know, as a Latino and hearing the speakers before me, I'm pissed. I'm mad. And all of you who know me, I've been mad for most of my life. Okay? For those of you who know my history of growing up here in Sacramento, since high school, since we formed La Raza Club in high school, since I had the opportunity to come to this great university and attain Machista coordinator, we founded La Raza Unida Estudiantil right here in Sacramento with people like yourselves and myself. I have a history, a los que me conocen, those of you who know me, I have a history of not shutting up. I have a history of speaking up when people don't want to hear me speak. I've been told to sit down and go outside because they don't want to listen to what I got to say, and I still have spoken up. And I will continue to be that voice of the unheard, the voice that they don't want to hear. The reality is we live in a society and in a state that lives in denial. Again, in denial. We are 40% of this state, and yet we have nothing to really to show but token positions. And we are told constantly, well, you don't elect your people. We've heard earlier today that most of my people are being locked up. Most of my people don't graduate from high school, much less go to these institutions. Quick reminder, folks, I'll date myself here. In the 70s, that was the biggest amount of people of color that the institutions of higher education ever dealt with. The 70s. Remember affirmative action? Remember the education opportunity programs that all of us got financial aid? That if we wouldn't have got that help, we wouldn't have been in these fine institutions? How many of our brothers and sisters in the 60s and in the early 70s didn't get their heads busted or wind up in jail so that we could have an opportunity to come to these institutions and get a learning experience that we would have never had? But what happened? In the mid-70s, they closed the door on us. Those of us who squeaked in there, many of you are in this room, we squeaked in there and got our degrees, and we got out. But how many people in the 70s, and you remember right here, UC Davis, the Bakke decision, remember? The death of the end, the beginning of the death of affirmative action, right here in our backyard. And how many of us didn't go to the streets and fight, remember? The anti-Bakke coalition, the ACDC coalition, we attacked it from all ways, and we still lost. And from that point forward, our community has had the doors closed. I'm tired of all these well-wishers and all these people that we elect that say, well, I give a hoot about your Latino community, but only visit us when it's election time. I live there in South Natoma. I know, lo que mi gente siente. I see it every day, and I'm tired of it. That's why I'm pissed. That's why I'm running. Okay? South Natomas needs a voice that is not going to put up anymore with broken promises. My community has dealt with Heather Farlow, Ray Threadway, Angelique Ashby, and Steve Cohn, and Northgate Boulevard still is the same. It looks like stepchildren from Sacramento. There's no jobs for our kids. The police are 24/7 on there. I see them pulling over kids left and right just because they're walking down the street and they got baggy pants. Get with the program. These is our youth. This is the future. And all we give them is a prison cell. I think we can do much better than that. And that's why I'm running. And those of you who know me as a civil rights justice person, we started the Justice Reform Coalition. Why? Because we got tired of our kids getting pulled over. Because we got tired of racial profiling. We started the Racial Profiling Commission in this town. Why? If you think they treat us nice? No, because there is a problem. We still have that Racial Profiling Commission in this city. It was a shame, I know my time is almost up, but it was a shame the other day. The city council, I'll give you two things why I'm also pissed. The city council put the comments of the public at the end instead of the front. This was done when our mayor was out of town. Now he has an opportunity now that he's back in town to correct that. I challenge him. The public is more important than your bullshit. The public's comments and the desires of the public is more important than the bullshit. I'll say it again. Then the other day, public financing. There is no public financing in this election. Why not? Are they that afraid of us? Of the public maybe winning an election? We passed Measure U. We gave them $28.6 million a year for 5 years. What the hell happened to that money? And yet they're going to come back to you on Measure B and ask you for more money for the library. Enough! We can find money for an arena. We can find money to wipe out Macy's. We can tear up downtown. But we can't find that financing and give equality to people. Boys, we can't find the money? No, people. We have a lot of problems at City Hall. And people ask me, are you going to get along with those people? I don't really give a shit if I get along with people. I really don't. I'm going to go in there because you, as my constituents, are going to vote me in, and we're going to do something. And I'm not there to be a nice guy, and this is not a popularity contest. So, mi gente, I challenge you to get pissed, just like me, and get out there, and like we heard earlier, kick some ass and get the Latino vote out there. Because that's how we're going to win. Muchas gracias.
You got my vote.
Gracias.
All right, that's good.
Anybody else, please? Muchas gracias.
I agree with you, McCarthy, about the need to develop in the Natomas area. At the same time, you're representing the 3rd district. So maybe you should talk a little bit about what your plans for the other compadres on the other side of the district as well, because granted, they're a little bit well off more than your district. You have to form partnerships, and I want to know what your plan is.
I didn't set her up for that, okay? Please, I'm just going to say, Ryan, before you leave, go back to our table. I have a 10-point plan. I think I'm the only candidate that has a 10-point plan in this race. And that 10-point plan, I speak to not only ills of South Natomas, but the problems of McKinley Park. I understand they're having problems with the homelessness, now including them through the rivers. And security is something that's very much on their radar. So that's something we have to look at. Somebody asked earlier about community policing. That's one of my 10-point plans, is to return to community policing. Back in the day on Northgate Boulevard, we had a little substation where we had police actually present. They actually got out of their cars and talked to people and walked. People felt comfortable with them. Now they just come to arrest us. They don't come to be our friends. That mentality has to change, okay? McKinley Park also has a very interesting situation. You might have heard in the news called McKinley Village. A project that really has no feet to stand on outside of trying to slam it through the city. I'm ashamed that when this went to city planning, now one city planner, now one of the 7, had the you-know-whats to stand up and say, you know what, wait a minute, maybe, we ought to listen to the community. Maybe there's something wrong. All 7 of them nodded their head and fell into line. That's the kind of city council we have. Everybody just nods their heads and goes along with the program, good or bad. And that mentality has got to change. I was well received the other day. We had a session with the East Park Improvement Association. And I was a bit antagonized because 5 of the candidates are from ESAC, and there's only 2 of us from South Natomas, and I happen to be the only one that was there from South Natomas. I was like, oh shit, I'm the lion's den, you know? But I felt very good. And afterwards, people came up to me and said, Efren, we like what you're saying. Because we have it already in McKinley. Our only problem is McKinley Village. Once we get done with McKinley Village, Efren, we want to help you in South Natomas. You know, eso me llenó el corazón. I said, you know what, I'm not just running for South Natomas. I'm running for the good people of McKinley Park and ESAC who really want change, and they want to do it in a good way. And I want to be that champion to help them. Because if people want to do good things, I want to be there to make it happen for them. So I am looking forward to looking to McKinley Park. They're not our enemies. You know, that is our district. But I want them to love South Natomas too. Gracias.